Every single rooftop here in EA is full, and the next man in, this guy, Alfred Scott, the 23-year-old out of Boston. Bit of a nomad, though, likes to wander the earth, plying his trade wherever he can. He's a tall build for a free runner as well, isn't he?
He's by far one of the tallest competitors in the competition, and as you'll see, his style is just linking the most difficult moves possible, starting with a huge front flip precision straight into a gargoyle gainer, into a Webster swing through Webster. Now, Alfred's approach is that instead of running and doing transitions, he's just going to do flips in every area possible instead of walking.
It's a theme. He got a little bit of role play coming into a few of these. He missed the bottle of Avalon, though.
Wow, into a huge side flip full precision. If only he would have nailed that bottle flip, he would have been almost perfect across the board for all of his tricks. That run was jam-packed, full of some of the most highly difficult and technical tricks we've seen thus far today. We'll have to take a look at some replays.
And it was interesting where he capitalized. One of the few things that we talked about it, maybe there was a lack of speed and also a lack of spontaneity in DK's run. We saw it with Alfred there. So two of those different style approaches really accentuated between those two runners here.
Yeah, and as you saw, just right off the top, Alfred's style is just gigantic moves with huge risk. One of the things he's really known for is pushing the level and skill of free running in parkour these days, trying to do a ton of high-level moves, such as right here, doing a swing cast, not just an actual backflip, but doing a full twist to land. Not an easy task by any means.
What's fascinating is it's the same across all action sports, surfing, skateboarding, BMX. You can't, it's very, very difficult to make being tall look stylish, but when you pull it off, you really, really pull it off. You see it with skaters like Brian Anderson, you see it here with a free runner like Alfred Scott.
Yeah, the one thing you have to take into account with height like that is that you can't fit as many moves into a small area, and every single time he does a leap or trick, his lines have to be very, very clean because of how big his silhouette is, so to speak.
Yeah, it's easier to make a mistake, isn't it, when your body's not quite as compact. Only 2 points behind our current leader in this heat, DK.
What's going to be most interesting is whether or not he pulls out a completely new one, so he throws the judges off, or if he repeats the same run, just without that minor slip-up.
Okay, Alfred Scott getting into position for his run. One of the most impressive lines from the heat. What's he got for the finals? All of these guys know that without Pasha, without DK, this title is open. It is up for grabs.
Door is wide open as Alfred Scott starts off with a huge side flip precision to another side flip precision into a 360 roll. He's got his hands chalked up, so I wonder if he's going to hit a couple of moves here. Doing a flyaway straight into a kip up. Wow! Kips his way over, almost doing a Kong gainer off the bar. Grabs the bars again, straight into a front flip release. As we saw, Alfred has had his hands heavily chalked up because of that. He was going to focus on the bars. And funny enough, after that run, he slips on probably the easiest move of that entire sequence, a front flip at the finish line.
Yeah, it's the ones you throw away that always catch you out, isn't it? So Alfred Scott, really, really big moves, great flow, and a lot of bar work there to finish. Whether or not, I mean, he was focusing just on that one area. Is that going to pull out the flow?
Yeah, I mean, you know what's interesting is anyone that watched the competition last year saw Alfred Scott in the finals, and he had the chance to do a move, and he slipped on it, and instead of continuing his run and getting flow points, he decided to go back to it last year just for the sake of landing it and winning sickest trick. So who knows? Honestly, his focus may have been on just trying to throw down 3 of the coolest bar tricks we've seen today and take home that sickest trick title for the 2nd year in a row, which is something to be proud of in itself, that's for sure.
So best trick last year. Can Alfred Scott take the whole title this year? At the moment, I feel like it's still wide open. I don't feel like anyone has really come out and shown the judges a run that goes, this title is mine. Bart van der Linden, he hasn't put a score into the stratosphere yet, and I think Andrew Scott's is going to be strong, but I don't know if it's going to be an emphatic score that really stamps his mark on this.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's kind of crazy that we've gotten to the finals, and obviously fatigue may be a factor after a long week of practices in the first round, but we've seen 3 of the shortest runs we've seen all day in the finals from our last 3 competitors. Not sure whether or not it's just accounting the nerves or whether or not they just want to stay safe, being a little exhausted, but honestly, the stage is now set with one last competitor on the course who had one of the most incredible runs of the entire day, and if he plays to his strengths, Joey Adrian, ladies and gentlemen, could be walking home as the champion of this event.
So currently second place for Alfred Scott. Bart van der Linden holds on to the top spot. Alfred Scott has 3.79. Don't forget,